everybody, welcome back to a new video. Today we are gonna review a comic which we have already reviewed, but this time in a better edition. And my old review was also pretty long, so this one will be shorter than that one. So yeah, I told you guys I reviewed this in the previous video. It's a back-to-back shoot. So in today's video we are gonna review Kingdom Come Black Label Edition paperback. Yeah. So let me just go and grab the normal version because we have to do some comparison as well. Oh, so I have this Lego shelf there, and I have the comic sitting behind those, and it just fell. So I will be back soon. Back. So got some stuff damaged. So last time we reviewed this Kingdom Come. This was a really good book. I love this. You all know I gave it a 10 out of 10. But there are some stuff which we will be talking in this video which will be changing its rating too. This was the compact edition. It's a fantasy comic. This was the side spine. This was the back cover, and here these are the papers. To be honest, I love compact comics. They are affordable and they are pretty nice. But you will see when we do the comparison here. So we will be reviewing this one later, like comparing later. So this is a DC Black Label edition. This is really good, and it's not only the story but some extras too. The side spine I slightly dislike, but I don't care. It's Kingdom Come. It's my favorite comic. It even was the winner of 5 Eisner and Harvey awards, which is kind of crazy to think how this comic won so much awards. It's one of the best comics ever told. In my opinion, this might be the greatest comic ever. I also read the Marvels and the Secret War, and a lot of comics like All Star. I'm not that much deep into the comics right now, but I had read a lot so far. I would say roughly around 15 to 16 physical copies, but if we go digital it might go above 60. I was a Marvel guy before, but I have recently dig more into the DC, and I've actually I'm loving it. I just feel DC is for me because the latest Marvel comics aren't too great. The Daredevil comic which came out recently isn't that good. So I have some hard talks on Marvel versus DC because I just have started to prefer DC now. So this edition retails for 19.99 USD and 25.99 Canadian, and it got a lot of extra stuff. The most half of the book is extra. So just it's simple story. It's the story of future, and this cover goes hard, man. I don't know, this is so great. Even this one here, we have table of content which you rarely find into the comics. I won't lie, I rarely saw. I saw in this one, and that Batman versus Robin Batman and Robin Batman V1. Here is some stuff about them discussing chapter 1. Really good introduction. I really like how they set up the John McKay, and the way how colorful the world is, and it's set in the future where our superheroes has retired, and the new ones, those are pretty corrupted ones. So it's really nice to see some new stuff here. I really love how we see Superman as working in the beard and everything else. Then we have the Wonder Woman, who doesn't even age that much, just some older, and she just convinced him to be back because Superman after Lois died, he was just he retired. And the new metahumans are really really bad, and Magog is the first main villain we see and discuss about. We have Flash here. This is the version, I forgot the name again. Then we have Green Lantern, which is the Alan Scott version, I believe. Alan Scott it is. And then we have the Hawkman here. Then we have the Batman even, and Batman's introduction is pretty nice to see. There is no dialogue at all. It's just some robots which Bruce Wayne developed. So these metahumans cause some trouble, and we have this really really beautiful opening of Superman. Let's just compare it quickly to the compact edition because that is what's gonna make a lot of sense to maybe tell you and convince you guys that you should go for the bigger edition. So this is the comparison. Obviously you guys cannot see much of the difference, but if you notice really closely, this is the newspaper paper, like it's rough quality, there is dull colors here, but if we compare it to the the bigger format, first you got the big size, which really does justice to the Alex Ross art style. He is my favorite artist, by the way. Here you guys can see the difference. There is even these gain, I would say, on the paper, but here it's pure clear and so much colorful than this one. We will be comparing it again and again in some moments. Let me just zoom out really quickly and put it here. So yeah, as we move on, this story is really great and the chapters are longer. I was reading this on a trip. Here we have another thing to compare to the compact edition. It's right here. Yep. So here is the difference. You guys can clearly see how low quality the compact edition is. But if you can't afford comics, so just go for these ones. These are great. I love them. So just Superman fighting, this interview scene was really nice. I just love this version of Superman, although I preferred that hopeful Superman more. I really love how the James Gunn universe took inspiration from this logo, even though the James one is more colorful, but I guess this is a perfect logo for Superman. I also love that S1, the classic one, but I just prefer this one more. This one is the main one to compare to, as it's just like it's one of those art where you actually recognize the comic. So here you guys can see again, dull, colorful, and the paper quality is obviously a bit mid. And the story is like just Superman making a team because he knows something's bad is going to happen. So like he's just approaching different humans, meta humans, and just encouraging them to join his league which he's making. And he even goes to Batman, but the Batman actually Bruce Wayne, I would say, because Batman is technically retired here for now, is actually had made an alliance with Lex Luthor to kill Superman. Here we see Shazam, Captain Marvel, whatever you wanna call him, and Superman has made this gulag to like put the bad meta-humans or the villains into it. And we see Deadman talking to John McKay, who is with Spectre. And this is a really nice, usually this stuff is boring in the comics, I won't lie, but this one feels different. And we have Martian Manhunter, which in my first read, I would just say honestly, I barely knew anything. This was my second comic ever, so like I barely knew anything. I didn't even knew that what was meant by the world's finest. So you guys can understand, I barely knew anything. We even had him here, and like then we have this reveal, John McKay revealing to the Justice League, and him just explaining that something bad is going to happen, and it's really cool to see. And then this scene right here where Superman just goes to the Bruce Wayne and just argues with him like we have to do something because something bad is going to happen. And he is just so hopeful, and it's really beautiful to see this. But when Batman tells him that Shazam is in control of Lex and he have been brainwashed, Superman realizes that they are all messed up, because he's literally a rival to him. Shazam is really overpowered in this book, by the way, I won't lie. This scene right here was really good. All those heroes you see fighting, beautiful. Compare it to the compact edition, just see how much dull this one looks, and it doesn't even bend properly at all. But here you can bend it properly and see it, and this is just beautiful to see in the in big format. And just the ending, we got the return of Batman, and the Batman doesn't look that good, I won't lie. His suit looks a bit weird to me, but I'm not complaining. And then there is this really good scene, I won't lie. This one, everything like gets destroyed, The judgment has come. Superman, this, mashed up, everyone dead bodies here, and him just angry. This is literally one of those moments which gave me goosebumps. And here is the comparison to the compact edition. It's pretty same here because it's white color, so and I love how this speech by John McKay, I finally understood here. In the compact, when I was reading this for the first time, I didn't understood so well. But here I just realized how good this comic actually is. And then there is this big gap between the story 1 year where Wonder Woman and Clark is having a baby, and Batman is to be their godfather. Beautiful, beautiful ending, beautiful story, really good book. So that was it for the review of the comic. Now we're gonna review the extra stuff. So there is just these memorials, who are on the covers. Really nice to explore some new characters and seeing some old ones. Then we had some Q&A here, which is really nice to see. That's good, really good. I love reading this stuff. We had some description of each character, John McKay, Spectre, and then we got Superman. Really nice art style, by the way. We got Wonder Woman, we got Green Lantern, Alan Scott, yep. We got the Hawkman, we got the Power Woman, we got Ray, I don't know him. We got Armorman, I don't know him. I know Starman, Tornado, Midnight. Robot Man, I do not know, but he's a former cyborg. We got Atom Smasher, I know him. We got, I don't know these two. We got the Alloy, we got Captain Comet, played an important role here. We got the Marvel family, which looks a lot like Spider-Man, especially the Wiz. No. Yeah, the Wiz. He was originally called to be Spider, gladly they didn't call him that. We got Brainiac and Supergirl's daughter. Then we got the Batman, really good description of him, and just cool art styles. I just wish they went for this one suit instead. We got Black Canary, Oliver and Diana Queen, Blue Beetle 2, Zatara 2, Wildcat, Green Lantern 6, Obsidian, Fate 5, Lightning, Conador, I don't know him, Huntress 3, and we got Spy Smasher. I am gonna see his series very soon, the old one. We got Batman of Other Nation, the Dragon, the Samurai, the Crossjack, and we got Batwoman and Ace 2 as well. Then we got the Titans, Red Robin, the Flash. The Flash is actually Wally West? No, not Wally West. I forgot the name. Anyhow, we got Aquaman 2, we got Red Arrow, Nightstar, Captain Marvel here in the wild cards, Captain Atom, we got Arthur and Dolphin. We got Deadman, he was really cool, his art was really cool. We got the Quintessence team, we got Superman and Supergirl, although I didn't saw them at all. We got Orion, Martian Manhunter, and Black Hawks and the Gulag, Magog, and just some extras here. Americando, Wombat, Joker's daughter, that was really surprising to see. 666, I do not know him at all. Manator, I thought he was someone new, but seems like in the Matt Fraction's Batman, but seems like he was someone else. Anyhow, we got Swastika, I don't know him. Almost doesn't know, I do not know anyone here. Sorry about my English, it's just I am a bit sick recently, but the content should stop, I have to do justice. Then we got some rough artwork, which was really nice seeing, and then we got Keys to the Kingdom Come. This was also really nice reading. I actually read the whole thing, didn't skip anything. This right here is the most hopeful piece of art I have ever seen in the comics so far of what I have read. This is so beautiful here. I just don't know why wasn't it in the compact edition. I miss so much. I'm glad I had this one now. We got some variant covers here. Really, all are nice. There is no doubt. This one is so cool, man. and I just love every cover here. It's just his art style is beautiful. Alex Ross, he's the legend here. Then we got this small story of I do not know how to pronounce his name properly. I saw him in Superman animated series and even the My Adventures with Superman, and his name is so hard to pronounce, but he's just so goofy. And here is Batmite, really, really disgusting. I thought he was gonna be good. Some action figures. I just want the Kingdom Come Superman. We got the Generations, and then we got some script stuff, nothing more than that. Overall, it's a really beautiful comic. I will still give this a 10 out of 10, but after understanding so many stuff in the comic, after reading it after a long time, after almost a year, I will give this an 11 out of 10. It's just my thing. I love Kingdom Come. These two comics are worth reading, and these might be my the greatest comic ever made for me. No comic have come close to this. Black Mirror was close. The Superman for All season was very close. Not very, but it was close. But after the reread, I could confidently say this comic, that there's no comic which is close to this. If you guys ask about some Marvel comic which is close, I would say Secret Wars 2015 one. I forgot the writer's name and the artist, but that comic was really good. We had God Domain. But overall, this is a must read. And if you had if you are low on budget, go for the compact edition. But if you got some money, extra money, it's $10 more, you guys can just save money again, go for this. The extras are just so much good. But if you do not care for extras, just go for the compact. There is no harm in it. But I just believe that this is a beautiful art style which needs to be seen on a big on a big paper. So yeah, that was all for today's video. Now we are going on a small break. Actually no, we have DC New Frontier to yet review. So yeah, that was all for today's video. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments. Take care and goodbye.